Welcome into the Seth Justice Show. Make sure you're following along on Spotify and YouTube, The Seth Justice Show, and also my social medias. All right, do that for me. Really do appreciate if you would. At Justice_Radio on Instagram, at Seth Justice Show on X, and I think that's it. I mean, I guess if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can do that. I mean, I don't know anybody that uses LinkedIn right now. Don't know if it actually works, but who knows? Or Facebook, I guess. I mean, I really do miss MySpace. Now, I got in the tail end of MySpace, but that was sick. I like that one a lot. I mean, there's so much you could do. You could, customize your page, have your favorite songs on there. Facebook, that was essentially how Facebook is now, is what used to be MySpace, except you would have a little bit more. And then Facebook took over and was just like, okay, we're going to dumb it back down. And so it's annoying. I miss MySpace. That was so much fun. Like I said, I was the tail end, so I'm not that old. Only 31. So still a baby. But yeah. I think that's all based on the mentality, though. Because I don't feel like I'm 31, to be honest with you. I feel like, I'm still in my 20s. And, I have a lot of time left, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a positive deal. I was thinking a lot, retrospectively this week about, man, I used to, be impulsive. And I still am impulsive, but there's also the little twinge in the back of your head that's like, I probably shouldn't spend money. I got a brand new phone because mine was smashed to bits and couldn't hold a charge and was terrible, and you couldn't get texts and stuff occasionally. But yeah, and so I got a new phone, but as soon as I did, I was like, scratchy on you. But in the moment, I was just like, I don't care. F it. We're going to do it. But then it's just you need it, and then you move on, and then it's fine. But then I also have to get a brand new apartment because for some reason my apartment is raising its rent, and it's to a level that it doesn't need to be, in my honest opinion. Rent for apartments is just crazy right now. I think we can all agree with that. I think we can all agree, you don't need to charge more for a rented apartment than somebody's mortgage. A buddy of mine said he only pays, what'd he say? Little over $1,000 a month for his mortgage or something like that. I mean, that's not including utilities, and you do have to buy your own washer and dryer and all that other stuff. But still, it's just you mean to tell me my rent is double of a mortgage payment? How Looney Tunes is that? That doesn't even make any sense to me. The amount that rent is so crazy right now, it just boggles my mind. I mean, I don't know the law, or I don't know the barometer, or how they calculate all the numbers or anything like that, or if it's just a corporate machine saying, oh, we're going to raise this rate to da-da-da. And it's just okay, well, that's great. And especially now, people aren't making a crap ton of money. They're not. So it's just okay, well, we're going to try. I mean, some people are making a lot of money, but some people now are having to get roommates again in their 30s. In their 30s, they're getting roommates. And especially if they're single right now, you can't, if you had a partner and all that, I mean, that's one thing. And you're able to be together, split all the bills, say a $1,900 a month apartment split by 2 is $900. I mean, that's doable. I mean, that's how much apartments should be costing, in my opinion. But that's doable. A $1,900 a month apartment for one person is ridiculous right now, because wages aren't great. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, if you're working at McDonald's or something like that, you're getting paid $15 an hour. So, okay, it's maybe doable if you work 40 hours a week, maybe. But even then, what's 15 Hold on. We got to do some math here. 15 times 40 is 15 times 40 equals $600. Is that right? So $15. Oh, I don't know. And you get paid every 2 weeks. That's $1,200. So minus taxes, that's what, like $900. So $1,800. That's not even a month. It's not even a month for you. So $15 an hour doesn't make you anything. And then you look at, construction workers. Construction workers can make really, really good money. I mean, I did when I was in construction. I was making, I think, almost $20 an hour, something like that. But even then, that's tight. Like an extra $5 an hour for 40 hours of work. I mean, that's still tight. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, and there's some people who make, $80, $90, $100,000 a year in their early 30s and 20s and stuff like that, especially if they work for the state, or, other jobs, that's corporate jobs that, do well, but, it's not guaranteed. And so the fact that rent is so exponentially increasing over the past few years is just ridiculous. So I don't know. I mean, that's my rant on that, because it's like apartment hunting is the absolute worst. It is. So yeah, I don't know. Like, and if you look at the money that people are bringing in now, like the wage hasn't gone up. And I'm not, now take this for what it is. I'm no expert. I'm just like basing some of this off of what people on TikTok say. So I don't 100% know this to be factual. But I've heard on TikTok that people are saying that wages haven't increased since the early 2000s, while profits for companies have increased, 200-300%. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It is such a bummer. And it's tough too, because if you're paying so much for an apartment, you can't do anything else. Like, you can't go out to bars. You can't go out, with your friends. You can't rent a boat for a day, because that's going to be like $400 or something like that, maybe $200. I don't know how much renting out a boat is, but we'll just say it's like $200. $200 just lying around? No. You have a car payment. You have X, Y, and Z thing. Everything is so expensive, and you're making, what, 50, 60K a year? Yeah. Not easy. Anyway, we got lots to get to today. That was a really long rant. But that's kind of my life anymore. But yeah, back to the impulsive thing. I was like reminding myself, that was a really long tangent. Holy cow. It's okay to be impulsive, especially now. Like you have enough that you're okay. You can do payment plans and all that stuff. And I was just reminiscing on when I was early in my 20s and impulsive, and I kind of missed that. But then I had way less responsibilities. And I wasn't in radio yet, which radio saved me. But that's a story for another day. Okay, let's get into some of the highlights of the week. Elsie Hewitt, the baby mama, Pete Davidson, did a little thirst trap in this week, except the thirst trap was her showing off her baby bump, which I think is adorable. Now, do I see Pete Davidson as a father? No, I don't. It's kind of strange, but maybe that's a perception of the media that people are just like, oh yeah, Pete Davidson, he's a wild man, BDE energy, and well, that was kind of repetitive. And so on and so on. And maybe that's true, but it's also like, let's see what happens. The kid ends up having tattoos up the yin-yang by 2 years old. I think we know. Because if anybody's seen That's My Boy, tattoos, when you get real young, they tend to expand. Skin stretches. And then you get new kids on the block on your back, and the heads look like bobbleheads, where they're massive. So, but that was a sweet moment for Elsie Hewitt to show off. Like, hey, my baby bump, my baby bump. So that was really cool. Speaking of really cool moments, you remember Stifler from American Pie. Well, the actor for that guy is Sean William Scott. And apparently that dude is dumb rich. Now, I say this because apparently he makes $110,000 a month. A month. And the only reason why we know this is because he filed for divorce last year, and now they're going to court for the child support and all that fun stuff. And of course, you have to showcase your finances. And bada bing, bada boom, we find out that Sean William Scott is stupid rich. And he also has $12.2 million in stocks. So, yeah. By the way, if you do the math, 12 months times $110,000, you get stupid money. And I don't even know how long he's been getting that, so he could have been getting that for a long time. And it's just like, what? Stifler of all people, being that savvy, being that, knowledgeable and understanding of his money, being able to hold on to it and do all this fun stuff, as well as, be a silly weirdo playing goon. And it's just like, wow. I never thought I would feel dumb when Stifler was around. And now Stifler's making me feel dumb. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Makes me... I don't even know. Sean William Scott, I guess, gets some grace, though, because he's a savvy mofo. God. That's so wild to me, though. $110,000 a month. Imagine what you could do with that, especially what we talked about earlier. Imagine what you could do with $110,000. Wild. Oh, I'd buy a boat and then never get on it. Or I don't even know. Buy a really nice car. First month, boom, give me that money. Second month, boom, give me that money. Third month, boom, give me that car. That's what I would do. Yep. I would try not to spend a single dime of it. But then eventually I would, because caffeine is a habit. Food is a need. So, yeah. Either way, Sean William Scott, cheers to you, buddy. I mean, you just impressive human being, I guess. I wonder, what is it from Goon that he's getting these royalty checks from? Or is it still American Pie? What all is going into this $110,000 a month? That's the real question. Sean, you got to let us know. What is going on with this, man? You can come on the podcast if you want. I won't mind. We'll talk. We'll have a great time. Yeah. Be great. It's just wild. I wonder what all goes into that. I would assume royalties from his movies and probably TV shows that he's been on. Probably that. But still, $110,000 a month? That's wild. Wonder if that's going to go down. And then he'll have to do another movie. Get paid $1 million. Get the royalties for that. Don't know. But what I do know is Logan and Nina Agdal, they are losing their freaking minds. I mean, this is just dumb. And I'm not trying to be a jerk here. Actually, I kind of am. But Logan and his wife, his now wife, Nina Agdal, they are selling their Puerto Rico mansion, which is $14 million, which is fine. Do you. That's great. Get that money. Get a bigger and better house for you and your family. That's fine. Except they're moving from Puerto Rico and staying in their house in upstate New York. Now, mind you, I'm in upstate New York. I love it here. I think it's great. I think it's grand. I have a lot of fun here. But it's not Puerto Rico. It's not. It's, cold, 60 to 75% of the year. And then it gets hot, but not that hot. It's not paradise. That's what I'm trying to say. Puerto Rico is paradise. Yes, 90% of the time, it is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, especially if you're in a mansion with a pool, sitting poolside, having a great time, doing your thing. Yes, perfect. Now, the other 10% of the time, you get hurricanes. Hurricanes aren't that great. let's be honest here. It's not that great at all. One of the worst things. It's pretty scary, plus the storms can be bad. So we understand this. So you're moving from Puerto Rico, where taxes are also not a thing. I don't believe the tax bracket there is very, very low. So you don't have to pay that much in taxes. And you're moving to upstate New York, where, let's be honest, there's quite a few taxes here. Quite a few. It's kind of expensive to live here. It's not as bad as Michigan, which I've also lived in, but it is still taxy, we'll say. And we're not talking about De Niro here. We're talking about expensive. So, and groceries, they're not that bad here, so I get that. And New York is a very nice place to live, especially upstate New York. If you've never been, it is, it's beautiful. Like, it's not just New York City. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, but it's just New York City and New York. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. But upstate New York is absolutely beautiful. The trees are great, everything like that. It is beautiful. But again, cold 60 to 75% of the time. And you're moving from Puerto Rico, a.k.a. paradise, to upstate New York. Now, I'm going to love it having you as neighbors, because then I can talk about you, and then you can call into my radio show and then yell at me, and then I'll play you on the air, and then you look like a douche. So, I mean, I would do that. Kind of a dickhead move, I guess. But that's what I'd do. So that would be pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I think I just changed my own mind on this. I think that's what we need to do. All right. I need to say something bad about Logan Paul, and then he'll call in, and then it'll be like, "Rawr!" And I'm like, bring it, and then curl up in a corner. And you can't like talk like glowingly about him, because if you do that, then he's not going to call in. He's not. I mean, you can talk glowingly about Nina, which again, why is she wanting to move to upstate New York? Maybe it's because it's closer to New York City and they don't want to live in New York City, which in that case, fine, good alternative. But from Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure everybody in upstate New York, if they had a choice between two options of upstate New York and Puerto Rico to live, and like just as it is, like there's no family ties, no work, you have nothing tying you down, you had to pick between upstate New York and Puerto Rico, I would say the large majority would say Puerto Rico. That's just my thought. Like nothing tying you down to either one. Family's not involved in this, money isn't involved in this, anything like that. It's not involved. If you asked a large majority of upstate New Yorkers, they'd probably pick Puerto Rico. All right? Or they're going to say they're going to stay in upstate New York and then be like, I'm probably going to stay in upstate New York just because they know it. So, but that's most people, and that's fine. But it's also just like, Logan and Nina have a choice. They have a choice. And they're choosing to go to upstate New York. I hope you don't think I'm bashing upstate New York, because I love it here, like I said. But I just don't get it. I don't. So, I don't know. Do whatever you want then. Either way, I'm going to make fun of you, Logan. And just you. Nina's great. Always had a crush on her. And then she dated Leo DiCaprio, and I kind of lost interest after that. Yeah. Did they date? Or did they canoodle? What is it? I don't know. I know she was like around him a lot. So one can assume canoodled. But you don't know for sure. Don't know. And let's see. I mean, oh my goodness. I don't know if you saw this. Lil Nas X went wild and crazy in LA. Like, so a few months ago, if you don't remember, Lil Nas X had a medical issue where his face was like paralyzed for a brief time. I think it's okay now. I think he's fine. But it was like the Justin Bieber thing where Justin's face did a thing and it wasn't a stroke or anything that caused it. It was just some like weird paralysis thing. So Lil Nas X had that. And we haven't heard from Lil Nas X in a while. And I don't follow his social media, so I don't know much about it. But yeah, so on Friday, I think it was, Thursday or Friday, Lil Nas X kind of went a little cuckoo and ripped off all of his clothes and was running around like Ricky Bobby after his first accident in his car on going 200 miles an hour. And, well, in this case, Lil Nas X, though, didn't think it was on fire. He put a traffic cone on his head. So, yeah. I don't know if he was trolling. A lot of people think he was, which is fine. I mean, I guess. Prison or jail, that's not a trolling thing, because that's where he went afterwards. So he was arrested for his, well, shirtless behavior. But I don't know. Maybe he was just trolling and just trying to be back in the sphere of entertainment and people like saying, "Oh my goodness, did you see what Lil Nas X did?" Maybe that's it, because he is he's very charismatic. He really is. He's very creative. And Lil Nas X does things that just are strange. I mean, not as strange as, The Weeknd's latest music video, Sao Paulo, where he's like, a pregnant lady's belly and her belly button is, his mouth, and he's singing. Not that crazy. At least I don't think. Oh. But Lil Nas X, he's a creative type. And so when he gets the itch to do something, he does it. And, for some reason, he decided to run around Los Angeles half naked. Actually, probably like 85% naked. He was only wearing underwear. It's a strange thing. I feel like that's something I would do in my early 20s. Again, like going back to retrospective Seth. That's something I would do in my early 20s and just be a weirdo. Except I was pudgy. Like, I'm still pudgy now. But in college especially, I was a hefty boy. So I probably wouldn't do it then. And that's probably the only time I would do it. Is if I was in college and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take my shirt off, take my pants off, just run around in my skivvies. And that's all I'm going to do. Like, that'd be the only time. Or if I was in high school before I turned 18. So I didn't, get that thing. But, if you're around a certain area, it gets real problematic. And you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. So it's just, I don't know. It's a wild thing, and I hope it was a troll. As weird as that sounds, kind of hope he was just trolling, because if he had like a mental breakdown, dude needs help. He doesn't need jail. I think we can all agree whenever somebody is, in that mental state, they need a hug and, somebody to talk to, and also, treatment possibilities instead of prison. But then there's also people who do deserve prison. But we're not going to jump on that political stuff. So, I don't know. I will say my TikTok recently has not been very political, and I am very happy about that. Now, it may be because of the new phone. More than likely is, because, do phones, like, when you switch them up, do they, like, redo your algorithm, or is it based on your profile? I don't know the answer to that question. someone let me know. DM me on Instagram at justice_radio or at Seth Justice Show on X, and or comment below. Does it base it on your phone and the memory stored up in your phone, or is it based on the actual account? Because I think that'd be an interesting thing. I don't really know. Seems like something important. Because if so, we should be switching out our phones a lot more than what we are. Except we're not paying $1,400 for a phone every year or so. We used to do that when it was like $700 for an iPhone, $500 for an iPhone. No, I think it was cheaper than that. Was it like $200 at one point? Was the first iPhone? A lot of questions I'm trying to ask and answer to myself right now that I'm really hoping you're going to answer in the comments. Or, DM me, whatever. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Enough rambling and mumbling and I don't know. Tonight is going to be a good night, though. This is Sunday, so get to go to the Jonas Brothers tonight, which is not usually my thing. If you know my musical tastes, you know that the Jonas Brothers doesn't really hit that mark. But it's going to be for work and get to hang out with my coworkers and, be at a concert. I mean, even if you don't necessarily like the band or don't like exactly a certain kind of genre of music or only know like one or two songs from a band, I think it's still good to go to a show. It's just the vibes you feel when you're at a concert. It's different. And it makes me happy. Anyway, we're going to end today. So thank you so much for listening. This has been the Seth Justice Show. Hit me up on Instagram at justice_radio, X at Seth Justice Show. And of course, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And you can go back and listen to old episodes as well. You can do that. Like I said, Spotify, YouTube, the Seth Justice Show. Talk next week. We'll do that for sure this time. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.